Hello, friend, and welcome to Inside the Dark. Thank you for joining me.
Okay, sir, what's going on?
I killed my children. It's a lot to explain, but in a nutshell, it's all my fault. I'm not even going. It's my fault. It's bad.
A father of 5 placed a call to police in Zebulon, North Carolina, to inform them that he had unalived 4 of his children. He told the dispatcher he felt guilty about what he did, and he was calling to do the right thing and turn himself in. When police responded to the scene, they found Wellington Delano Dickens at the home with his 3-year-old son, the only one of his children he did not unalive. Dickens led police out to his garage and his car parked inside, where he told them he hid his 4 children's bodies in the trunk. Police found the bodies of 4 children in the trunk, in various stages of decomposition. 3 identified as Dickens' children, ages 10, 9, and 6, and Dickens' 18-year-old stepson. Dickens was taken into custody and has been charged with first-degree murder. Police say he has not offered a motive for their deaths. They also say Dickens' wife passed away in 2024 due to complications from a miscarriage.
Okay, sir, what's going on?
I killed my children. It's a lot to explain, but in a nutshell, it's all my fault. I'm not even going. It's my fault. It's bad. I didn't hurt them on some when I say just kill, I didn't use knives or nothing to cut nobody or shoot nobody or nothing. It started out as me over disciplining. That's it. And leaving them out to eat, leaving stuff out to eat, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay, and sir, how did you do it? Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did you do it?
I beat on them sometimes. They didn't want to eat. I didn't force them to eat. I told them that it was a punishment not to eat. I did a bunch of different little things. I thought I was trying to. It's a lot of things, and I'm trying to just do the right thing because I left something. I tried to call a lawyer earlier, but I could have maybe called a lot more lawyers. I just did one. I should have just started calling all of them, and just trying to basically turn. I was basically trying to turn myself in without it being extra. But like I said, if y'all want to do it extra, that's fine. I didn't know your procedures, and I'm not trying to
How old were the
tell you what
children?
not to do.
How old were the children?
Mm-hmm.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are the children?
10. Well, the oldest is my stepson. He's 18.
Okay, and the other
And
one
then
is
I
10?
got the other one is 10. Yes. That's my oldest son. Then I have a 9-year-old daughter. And I got a 5-year-old daughter. And I have a son here now on my bed. And I'm not even going to try to make it look. Well, I want to bring this up.
Okay, and sir, who is there with you now? Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
who is there with you now?
Just me and my son.
Okay. And do you have any weapons on you?
No weapons on me. I do have some knives here, but not on me. Like I said, if you want me to, I'll come outside in my underwear. I don't know what y'all need me to be. I'm willing to do whatever you need me to do. I never had this in my life. You know, this nigga right here.
Have you been drinking or doing any drugs?
I did smoke, and I had like a sip of the champagne.
Okay, and sir, you said your name was Wellington, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what made you want to do this?
It's really not. It wasn't up to me. Like I had God just influenced me. Like that's it. It wasn't me because I got nervous and I didn't do it when I was supposed to, and I was being a coward. And I just was trying to let my children. You know what I'm saying? When that was me, I was supposed to make those decisions, and it just spiraled. You know, it just got worse and worse and worse. That's it. And I just can't take it no more. I never did this before. Man, this stuff is crazy.
Okay, sir.
And I got my son. I just feel
okay?
guilty. I'm guilty as hell.
Okay, there's a deputy outside, okay?
They outside right now?
Yes, we have a deputy outside.
Okay.
Okay, sir, go speak with the deputy. I'm going to disconnect now, okay?
All new reaction tonight as Johnston County neighbors grapple with the reality a heinous crime happened right next door. Wellington Dickens III is in jail tonight, accused of killing his 4 children months ago. Deputies say he called 911 himself to confess to the crime last night. WRAL's Eric Miller has been following the shocking story for us tonight. Eric, it's early, it's inexplicable, but do we have any sense of a motive tonight?
Alina, we've been talking to Dickens' family and neighbors here on Springtooth Drive, trying to answer that question. Dickens' uncle points to the fact that he's an Iraq War veteran, something that certainly had an impact on his behavior over the years. Neighbors here have pointed out that Dickens lost his wife just a year ago. Still, there's no word yet, at least not publicly, from Dickens himself or the Johnston County Sheriff's Office to explain why or how a man could kill 4 of his own children and leave a 5th alive but alone. Inside Wellington Dickens' home Tuesday night, empty bunk beds that will never be full again. Investigators finally left the scene of this crime around 7:30 p.m. But neighbors like Deborah Riley, who lives right next door, are still trying to put the pieces together.
My heart just breaks for the children and for the 3-year-old that's left because he has no parents or siblings left.
Riley says Dickens had changed significantly since his wife died in childbirth last year.
Became more of a recluse, I guess maybe the appropriate word. You just never saw him outside as much. You never saw the children outside as much. He did state that his wife was more or less the backbone of the family, that she took care of the children, she homeschooled them, prepared the meals, took care of the household.
According to the Johnston County Sheriff's Office, 4 of those children, ages 6, 9, and 10, along with Dickens' 18-year-old stepson, were found stuffed in the trunk of a car at Dickens' home. Court documents suggest they'd been there for months.
It's been nerve-wracking. It's been emotional.
Sherry Burton, who also lives next door to Dickens, says she had noticed something strange at Dickens' house over the last few months.
He started to leave his garage door up from the ground up, probably about 2 inches off the ground.
She also says at one point her son caught a whiff of something awful.
Because he said I almost made him, but I even got to throw up.
For her part, Deborah Riley says she wishes she could have done something, anything, to keep this horror from coming to this now empty house.
The way of the world's just not the way it used to be, where you talked to your neighbors, you checked on them. Again, that's something I'll regret.
Now, Dickens is facing 4 different murder charges here. He had his first appearance in court here in Johnston County on one of those today. He'll have his first appearance on the other 3 tomorrow. We'll be watching very closely to see what happens there in Johnston County. Eric Miller, WRAL News. News.
Thank you, Eric. We wanted to know more about Dickens and any criminal history he may have. He does have another misdemeanor child abuse charge. It's from 2015, 1 month after he was married. But the case was dismissed because the alleged victim didn't show up in court. Most of the charges we found against him were traffic tickets and things like that. We also learned that Dickens' father died in a crash in 2023. Then his wife died in 2024. Her obituary only said that she died suddenly at home. WR's Ashley Rose spoke with Dickens' great uncle this afternoon. He said Dickens served in Iraq and has struggled mentally ever since.
We know he had a little problem.
What kind of problem?
You know, he was, like I said, he was in the service and he had problems ever since he came back, I think.
WRL was checking with local social service agencies to see if they had any involvement with the family. Those records are confidential, but agencies can release them after a child dies under these kinds of circumstances.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us this morning. I'm Steve Bizzle. I'm the sheriff here in Johnston County. Our district attorney, Jason Waller, is on my left. Chief Deputy Jeff Caldwell is on my right, and the CID investigator and the captain of the CID division, Don, is also on my left here. We just want to give you a recap of the situation we've been dealing with this week. On Monday night, October the 27th, just at around 10:09, we received a call into communication of an individual that identified himself as Wellington Delano Dickens III, who was living at 101 Springtooth Drive in Zebulon. Mr. Dickens stated he had killed 4 of his children, and pretty much they were in the trunk of his vehicle there in the garage at the home. And that his 3-year-old son was there with Mr. Dickens in the home at that time. Deputies responded, located Dickens and the 3-year-old son at the residence. DSS was called. The 3-year-old son was alive, and DSS took the son for medical evaluation, and I can share with you that he is safe. A preliminary investigation believed to be what was human bodies in the trunk of the vehicle located in the garage, as Dickens had earlier said. The victim appeared to have been deceased and in the trunk of that vehicle for some time. Detectives were called and a search warrant was obtained. Our investigation, folks, determined that 6-year-old Leah Dickens was the first child killed by her own father. And that death was believed to have occurred in May of 2025. Zoe Dickens, the second victim, was 9 years of age, and it is estimated that her death occurred in August of this year also. Wellington Dickens IV was his father's 3rd victim, being killed in late August or early September. The 4th victim was Dickens' stepson, Sean Brassfield, who was killed sometime in September as well. All the children in the home were apparently homeschooled. Investigators with the Johnston County Sheriff's Office, the State Bureau of Investigation, and the State Medical Examiner's Office are continuing this investigation. The bodies were removed from the trunk yesterday and are at the Medical Examiner's Office for an autopsy. Wellington Delano Dickens III is charged with 4 counts of murder in the death of his daughter Leah, his daughter Zoe, his son Wellington Dickens IV, and the murder of his stepson, Sean Brassfield. He is currently in the Johnston Detention Center without bond. Investigators also learned that Wellington's wife had died on April the 21st of 2024. On this date, deputies arrived at the same address to assist EMS in a call there. Deputies determined that 37-year-old Stephanie Ray Jones was found deceased by Wellington Delano Dickens III. It was learned Miss Jones was 3 months pregnant and had experienced excessive bleeding the night prior, but refused to go for medical treatment. Investigators responded that night to the scene, continued the investigation, and it was determined Miss Jones died from the complications from a miscarriage, and doctors ruled her death as natural. This is an active and ongoing investigation with the possibility of additional charges being filed. Additional information will be released to y'all at a time that is appropriate as this investigation continues. Folks, there's no known motive at this point why Mr. Dickens murdered these children. But as the sheriff, as a father, and as a grandfather, I can stand here and say there's no reason for a father to murder his children. I do want to thank everyone that has assisted us on this case. SBI Director was on the scene yesterday morning himself. He assigned investigators at our request to assist us with the crime scene, which was tough. The SBI agents were there, the crime scene investigators were there, our detectives were there, our district attorney was on the scene also, as well as myself, the captain, and the chief deputy. The medical examiner's office, always great to work with it, but especially in this case involving the death of 4 children. DSS, I want to thank them. I want to thank the colonel of the Highway Patrol that reached out. Anything you need. The director of ALE reached out to me. Anything y'all need. The FBI reached out. And for the director of the SBI to go to the scene himself speaks volumes about the relationship and the partnerships that we all share in any investigation, but especially in an investigation involving the death of 4 children. I would tell you, I was on the scene yesterday, and I saw our investigators, the SBI agents, the captain, the chief deputy, the district attorney, all standing out in the rain under a tent, but we were there for a purpose, and that was to investigate and to put this man behind bars. I would tell you, it was tough on our investigators. We have young investigators that were on the scene yesterday. They're young, they got young families, they got children of their own. I've got children and grandchildren, and so does everybody that's standing up here with me today. I will tell you, I ask for you and the public's prayers, not only for these victims, but also for other family members, but also for the law enforcement officers that come to work every day and to do what I witnessed yesterday. Yes, that is what we do, and yes, that's what we get paid to do. But folks, we are human too, and I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I talked to several of the detectives this morning, and they didn't either. I do want to thank the public for the outpouring of support, for prayers and their texts and their phone calls. Say thank y'all for what you do. It is tough. Thank y'all for being here today. I'm going to turn it over now to our district attorney, Jason Waller.
Thanks, Sheriff. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here. Just before midnight on Monday, I got a call from Captain Don Pate at the Sheriff's Office, and he said words that no district attorney ever wants to hear. That we have a death investigation involving children. Under the rules of professional conduct, I am limited in what I can share with you about this ongoing investigation. However, I want to speak to you today not only as the District Attorney of Johnston County, but as a father and a member of this community. My heart breaks for these children who have been subject to violence and murder, and for everyone who loves them. Over the past 2 days, I have worked closely with Sheriff Bizzle, Chief Deputy Jeff Caldwell, and Captain Pate, and the men and women of the Johnston County Sheriff's Office, along with Director Chip Hawley and the dedicated agents of the State Bureau of Investigation. Their tireless work in the face of such tragedy reflects the very best of law enforcement and the strength of interagency partnerships. Together, they are conducting a thorough and professional investigation to uncover the truth and to ensure accountability through the justice system. Thank you, Sheriff, for your work. Thank you for putting the children first and our community first. As we continue to move forward, I join our entire community in mourning the loss of 4 innocent lives. The outpouring of love and support for these children has been overwhelming. And I want to assure you that those expressions of care and your calls for justice have been heard. At this stage, the investigation remains active and ongoing. When the investigation is complete, my office will review the evidence and carefully proceed in accordance with the law and the facts. As a career prosecutor who has prosecuted both capital and non-capital murders, I understand the importance of patience and precision in this process. Justice is not achieved through haste, but through diligence, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the truth. The loss we face is unimaginable. The responsibility before us is great. And I can promise you this, I recognize the horror you are all experiencing hearing about this crime. And my office will honor the memory of these children by pursuing justice with strength, compassion, and the respect for the rule of law. Thank you again for being here.
We're going to take a few of the questions if you've got some, as was both said by myself and the DA. This is an active, ongoing investigation, and we're kind of reluctant to say more than we've already said. If you've got a few questions, if we can assist you, we will.
Are there any plans to exhume Mr. Dickens' wife's remains?
Not at this point.
DeJuan Hogar, WTVD.
Yeah.
You mentioned just the separation of dates for the deaths of these children. Were they all believed to be in the trunk at the time of their deaths, and were their bodies intact?
I would tell you, due to the ongoing investigation, that's a good question, but I would tell you we're going to be holding that right now.
Just more about the timing. Was that information that you learned from Mr. Dickens?
That is information that we received from interviews, yes.
And based on the preliminary investigation, do you know the cause of death at this point, how he's accused of
The
murder?
medical examiner's office is going to assist us with that, and they have been great to work with, too.
And we understand Mr. Dickens did call 911. Do we know what led him to call 911? We're hearing reports that maybe he was being blackmailed of sorts, or...
No, I think my personal opinion is something got to him, and he was just ready to give it up, ready to turn himself in, and pretty much called and said, I'm here with my little 3-year-old son. I killed my 4 children. Their bodies are in the trunk of the car. I'll be glad to go outside and wait for deputies. I'm not armed. I'm just ready to do what's right.
And was that interaction pretty, when you all showed up to the scene, did he appear to be cooperative, or...
Absolutely.
I know you mentioned that the children were homeschooled, but have you learned about anybody else trying to reach out to them since they started going missing?
There was a call made by family members in the past, but that apparently went returned. We did canvass the neighborhood yesterday. Detectives went from house to house, talked to everyone, got any information we could get. It appears there wasn't a lot of activity at the house in the past. They, homeschooled. The mother had died, and I guess the father and the kids were living in the house, and they're in conditions that are unimaginable. Yes.
The father of the 18-year-old, have he reached out to you guys? Have you talked to him about it? Has he been trying to reach out to his son and talk with him?
Don?
We're still in the process with obtaining that. He is in the military, and we're still trying to get records for that at this point.
Could you tell us more about that call that was made by the family members?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, could you tell us more about that call that was made by family members?
I would tell you, after the district attorney and staff gets a chance to review the call, in detail. We were discussing releasing that call in a timely manner.
Have you ever seen a case like this before?
Not exactly like this. We had the case, the Warren children outside of the town of Princeton back in the early 2000s, and that one still sticks in my mind today. But even that case, there was the death of 3 children. In this case, you got the death of 4 children that was conducted by the father and the stepfather of one of the kids. So, what father wants to kill their own kids, Just a sad day.
And you mentioned the conditions of the home as well, just as a father, as a grandfather, when detectives first arrived to that home. How did it feel? What was your reaction to seeing that?
Don, I'll let you speak to that.
Upon arriving, there is an odor there that was obvious of decay when we arrived. The conditions of the home were not well kept, but it wasn't too bad inside there. So that's kind of what we saw when we arrived. You can tell that some criminal activities happen inside the residence, not at the vehicle.
What about the trunk when you saw that?
We weren't able to tell a whole lot there just from time and just the process of death. So that's part we're just having to find out from the medical examiner through their assistance.
Can you explain what you mean by there's evidence of criminal activity?
We've just had evidence where scenes have been attempted to be cleaned up inside.
What happens now to the surviving child?
DSS will have a process, and they will determine that. That will be something they will have in their control.
Any idea as to how the deaths were able to be concealed for so long, and if DSS had any involvement with this family prior to just the other day with this youngest child?
I can't speak to any process that DSS has been. I'm not aware of that, but I think they were just very secluded. They just stayed inside. Everybody we talked to, the family was not allowed, extended family were not allowed to come and see the children, and the neighbors said they never saw them come outside. And they were homeschooled, so they were just confined to their house.
Jason, anything else you got to add? Again, thank y'all for being with us today. I know your hearts are broken like ours. Yesterday was a sad day. At least there's a closure. And thank y'all again for being here today. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Inside the Dark. Take care, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, where I'll be waiting to take you back inside the dark.